Hello, race car fans. So here's a rare model. I've been waiting quite a long time, over a year, to get this thing, and I definitely overpaid for this thing. And I also know that Mini GT is coming out with a Lancia Stratos. I just don't know if they're going to come out with this Group 5 racer. So that's why I ponied up the money for this, because this is still going to be nicer than any Hot Wheels. You know, Hot Wheels did put this out, but it's not going to be 1/64 scale. So I think I like this car enough that I'm willing to actually pay the premium and have the nicer version. So this is from the 11th collection. I believe that's what this means. SS, like Super Stage or something, or Short Stage. But anyways, I think it's the 11th collection of 6 cars. Here are 2 of them. I think I might have those. The back is always the same. It says 735 yen. That's less than $8 in today's money. And where does it say the date? 2007 down there? Yes, it is 2007. And then here are the other cars here. So 6 in total. It's possible I might actually have all these. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It's been a while since I opened up one of these right out of the box there. So very protective packaging. Maybe too protective. This one doesn't have antennas, so there's no antenna taped to the bottom. Okay, one screw. Sadly, CM's is no longer a business, so that's why these models cost a lot, because they're such historic race cars that CM's did. It's a shame they, went out of business. Even if they were still in business now, selling these exact same castings, I think they would sell, because these are such historic race cars. So the story of this guy, there's only 2 of these road racing Group 5 turbocharged Stratos is built. One of them burnt to a crisp, and sadly I think the driver may have died in that one. And then the other one went on to win the Giro d'Italia, and then I think was sold off to like a wealthy Japanese collector, and then maybe someone else at later. Not really sure where this car is today, but it's the only one in existence. Okay. So the regular Stratos, I believe, had around 190 horsepower, but this being a turbocharged one source told me this thing has 560 horsepower coming up. It's a 2.4 liter V6 in the mid-rear position. Let's see what else. Just see. This was it won 5 times straight the Tour de France automobile between 1973 and 1980. And then 1974, 76, and 78, it won that Giro d'Italia, which is like the Italian counterpart to the Tour de France automobile. But in all other races, it seems to have paled in comparison to the prowess of the Porsche 935. So it still won some races, but the Porsches, I think, won all the other ones. Alright, so let's continue on. CM's has all this tampo printing, no decal BS there. Sadly, CM's wheels are not the greatest. They could have easily had those hollow, but what can you do? Alright, so all the graphics look pretty good. No complaints there. And so far the paint's looking nice. Really tiny windows. I think there's a little blackout painted on that window. I like the separate mirrors. They are rigid though. They would probably snap off if this thing was dropped. Same with this wing. It's a little loose, but it is rigid plastic. Door handle sticking out a tiny bit. This vent, it even has a little bit of black in there, so that's a nice touch. Too bad they didn't put a little black in these openings, make it look a little more realistic. So you got this really long, chin spoiler there, or it's crazy. It's sticking out so far. And then you have plastic lenses and these tiny little lights here. Then you have a texture for that in front of the radiator. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if there's a texture. Maybe. I feel something. But it's a really deep vent. Then you got all these tiny little vents here. More sponsorship and all that stuff. So far, the paint looks pretty good. This side here, interesting. This is a squared off fender. But the rear one's pretty much concentric. Alright, I think that's a graphic for like a fuel filler. No, maybe that's an emergency cutoff. It says E, and there's an electrical symbol, I think, above it. So this Munari fellow here, he rally raced these Stratos, or Strati. What would you call this in plural? Strati? That's what I'm guessing. Or Stratos is. So he won some World Rally Championships, I believe. And I wonder if he won the Road Racing Championship as well in one of those years I was taking. Well, one of those road racing events. Probably. Some hatches, latches for the hatches. Okay. What's this little black paint here? This is a separate piece here, a little loose. Doesn't bother me though. Ooh, that's, gotta be careful there. If I drop this model, that's gonna snap off. Tiny little clear red taillights. It's just, well, you know, that's actually pretty accurate. There's a recess around the taillights, but the top half is orange. So, but still, at least it's clear red. Perfectly blank back. I would have to assume there's a bunch of mechanical stuff going on here. I just can't tell in that rear photograph. So CM's is, they're still really a strange company. They never took credit for their own work, you know. No branding, no information on the car, and then sadly it's press fit together, so if there's a problem it would be hard to fix. Big giant racing slicks here. Quite a bit of staggering, and in fact the whole car itself is quite a wedge, very like a Ferrari Testarossa like, you know, but it's only a 2.4 liter V6, so I guess they're just trying to accommodate really massive tires. Alright, so the interior, well, you know, it's just black plastic. I'm gonna guess it's pretty well typical details, but this windshield is so curved kind of hard to tell what's going on, and the side windows are so shallow. I don't think, well, maybe. Hold on, let me try to figure a way to hold those. Hit the focus. Try to zoom in. So only one seat, as a race car should probably have. Some sort of, I don't know what that round thing is. It's not a shifter. Steering wheel there, some buttons on the dashboard. Yeah, it's good enough, but honestly with your own naked eye all you're really going to see is what's through the windshield. You're really not going to see much through the side. Alright, well anyways, it's good. The riding stance though, alright, if I actually press it up, it's not so bad. Actually, that looks pretty realistic to the photographs. The front wheel is underneath the fender. The rear wheel has a bit of a gap if you look at that side photograph again. Same here and here. So actually the stance is pretty good. And oddly, it rolls. Surprised. Like I'm surprised the tires don't rub more against. I can feel it rubbing right now. And then why is that tire sticking out? Well, why is the rim sticking out so much? Can't move the tire. Possibly because this thing is so old. Maybe this tire shrank. You know, it's still rubbery, but it's not soft. So I don't know. Okay. Let's compare it to a couple of the cars. I do have regular rally versions of the Stratos or Strati. So I have this one here, it's from 1975. This is by CM's again, and it actually has Munari's name on it. So same racer, same driver. And then I have the 1977 Stratos with again Munari's name on it. So I think this is after he won a championship, or was winning the championship, because it has the number 1 on the car. Now what's really neat is these two rally cars, you can, well, there are seat belts. You might want to see the reviews of these models, but I can see red seat belts through the windshield. But the road racing car doesn't have such color, so it's too bad. The rally cars have 2 seats because there's a co-pilot, you know, a navigator I mean, and then they have the seat belt details. Going to the top view, hold on, I'm going to try to line these up in the rear, because it's generally that front lip, I think, that's really making that thing look so much bigger. Or not. Actually, it's just a giant car. It's almost like a totally different car. I mean, if we line up the front edge, look how much extra length there is on the rear end of this thing. You know, it's almost like a Le Mans prototype racer where they stretch out the length as long as they can to get more downforce. But look at the width of it as well. I'm not sure if the width is the same. You know, this looks narrow because it's like a Coke bottle. But yeah, it's very imposing, this Group 5 road racer. And then the tiny taillights compared to the rally car. But it seems to be relatively accurate looking at the photographs, right? This one has hollow spokes, solid. This one also hollow. So I do feel that these wheels are sadly, they were quite lazy making those. There's no reason why they couldn't make those hollow spokes like the real car. It's a real shame. Alright. Let's lose these guys. So here's a Porsche 934. I don't know what the difference is off the top of my head between a 934 and a 935. Is the 935 a slant nose? Is that the only difference? Please leave a comment, you Porsche fans. This is by Mini Champs, by the way, and Tarmac Works is coming out with some very similar to that. I guess Mini Champs is coming back to 164, but right now they're going through Tarmac Works. That's my understanding. Alright, this next one and the last one is another CM's, but it's the Lancia Beta Monte Carlo. So this is another, I think, Group 5 racer. And it's a silhouette racer. I guess this is a silhouette racer. You know, the doors and the canopy are like the street vehicle, but everything else is different. And so this says doors and a canopy of a Lancia Beta, but everything else is different. So going to the top view again, that Beta is huge. Yeah, it's just a giant rectangle plowing through the air. Alright. Well, guess we gotta set this guy aside. Set up the individual coaster. Let this thing spin on its own. So, if you love this car, it's debatable whether you should buy it. It's definitely expensive. The question is, will Mini GT go through the trouble of making a casting just for this car? Yeah, they already have the rally version coming out. If I was that company, I would have scanned this car as well. Granted, I believe this car is in the hands of a private person. It's not at like the Lancia factory or the Lancia museum, if there is such a thing. So without obviously access to the real car, it might prove difficult for Mini GT to duplicate it. Unless, of course, Lancia actually gives them like drawings or some sort of CAD files. But CAD files wouldn't exist at this time. So I don't know. That's again why I bought it. But there is a chance that's, you know, there'll be a more modern version of it. And if Mini GT did do it, it would at least have better wheels than this. I'm not sure if it would have a better interior. A lot of their interiors are black, most of them are. But it would definitely have better wheels. So anyways, even as old as this model is, I think it stands up against the modern brands. If this thing was brand new, like just released last month, only the wheels are the giveaway that it's kind of inferior. But everything else, the casting, all the graphics are paint, no decals, separate mirrors, plastic lights front and rear. It's good stuff. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. I think there's a few more CMs that I need to get castings of. I can't guarantee that I'll get them because I don't really love those cars enough to shell out the money that eBay people are asking for it. So, but you never know. I'm running out of things to buy. So You're starting to buy more insanely priced models now. I'm still buying the new stuff, of course, but as far as backlogging stuff, buying out of print models, yeah, it's gonna slow down for sure, but maybe. Thanks for watching, guys. See you at the next Group 5 race. Bye.